we need to move past this notion that he's not going to run. President Biden is going to run, and looking forward to getting him reelected. I think there's been so much wallowing in the last few months and hand-wringing in this respect, but we're gearing up for the campaign. We're looking forward to it.
But you hear these calls privately. What do you tell these donors who are wallowing in this?
Time to move on. Let's go.
And am I supposed to interpret that comment about the vice president, that if for some reason the president chose not to run at this point,
well, that's
everybody rallies around her?
It's the Biden-Harris administration. Maybe I'm a little old-fashioned.
Yeah,
maybe I'm a little old-fashioned about presidents and vice presidents. I was a lieutenant governor, so I'm a little subjective.
Those comments are going to be so fun to play on a loop over and over and over and over again as soon as Democrats run Joe Biden out of the White House and Gavin Newsom's the nominee. Joining me now, my friend John Phillips of the great John Phillips Show. Okay, John, all politicians, Republicans, Democrats, they all do the exact same thing. As you know, you probably are more politically astute than anyone I know. They all do the, no, I'm not going to run. No, I can't. No, I really couldn't. About 5 minutes before they walk up to the stage and say, I wasn't gonna, but everybody wanted me to, so now I am. And that's all I see here. But am I just seeing what I want to see?
You're 100% right. And I don't know why they do that, because politicians are inherently ambitious. They want to accumulate power. They want to move from office to office. And yet, for some reason, they all act like this damsel in distress whenever they're asked if there's an office that they'd like to run for in the future. And it's so obvious that Gavin Newsom is running for president that even John Fetterman at a recent event came out and said, well, there's two Democrats running against Joe Biden right now. Dean Phillips, the congressman from Minnesota, and Gavin Newsom, the governor from California. If a man with brain damage can figure out that this guy's running for president, doesn't he realize it's obvious to everyone else too?
John, we talk a lot, and you and I've had this conversation before, but I want to make sure everyone's kind of up to speed on what it means to run a presidential campaign. And, it's not just walking up to the microphone and then putting out a TikTok video. It takes quite an organization to run for president. And Gavin Newsom is one of the only Democrats in the country outside of Joe Biden who has put together an organization to run for president. But what does that mean to the normal person who doesn't understand what we're talking about here?
Well, it requires a bunch of things, including things like lists of supporters, lists of donors, those sorts of things. It's something that is a hot commodity in politics, and then you can use this list to hit people up for money or endorsements or to share things on social media, or you can take this list and you can sell it to other people and make lots of money by doing that. And one of the things that Gavin Newsom did recently is he came up with this constitutional amendment related to gun control that has no chance at all of passing. But because he was out there promoting it on all of the national channels and getting people to sign up to support his gun control initiative, he's building this database of supporters or potential supporters that he could then call on if and when he decides to run. But he's not doing it as, I'm the candidate, sign up to support me as the candidate. Oh no, I'm just the governor of California that wants to do something about gun control. And that's how he's getting it. So he's getting this list through surreptitious means.
He is, and I hope everyone hears what John just said. The reason you open up your phone in the morning and you have some email from some campaign or political action PAC that you've never corresponded with, it's because you gave your email to someone else who sold your email in list form to that political action PAC. Your email is money, isn't it, John?
Yeah, and if you ever want to play a trick to find out who's doing it, use a different name every time you sign up every time you subscribe to a newspaper or a magazine or whatever the case may be. And when you get some ad in the mail with that name, you know who sold that list and who sold your name.
Well, I remember like it was yesterday when they hit me up for my congressional list after I was done losing 2 campaigns. All right, John, now, Gavin Newsom, as far as his general election electability, and I'm sure that's not the way you're supposed to put that, but I'm an idiot, so that's how I put it. I obviously don't need any help hating Gavin Newsom. I'm sure you don't either. But I'm not normal. I'm on the right, far to the right. The normal voter Is this guy, does he come off as slimy and sleazy like he does to me? Does he come off as smooth? How does this guy come off to Joe Schmo?
He is more likable than you or I would probably like to admit. He's one of these people who surrounds himself with Republicans. He lives, even though he lives in a blue state, he lives in a very Republican area. His neighbors are all Republicans. His wife's family, they live in Montana. They're very wealthy people in Montana who donate to Ron DeSantis. A lot of the extended members of his own family are Republican. He watches nothing but Fox News and probably your show at night after he pours a couple of glasses of wine. So he understands, as a liberal Democrat, how Republicans think better than a lot of Republican elected officials do, because he consumes nothing but our media and talks to nothing but other Republicans. So he's a chameleon in many ways and has the ability to branch out past the normal Democratic base. And I don't think people give him enough credit for that. That being said, it's entirely possible that he's another one of these paper tigers. And you see this happen over and over again throughout history, where you have these governors who, for whatever reason, are white hot in their own state, and the national publications write about them as the savior of their party. And then it comes around to where they actually put their name on the ballot, or they have to put their name on the ballot, and then it just blows up on takeoff. You saw that with Mario Cuomo when he was the governor of New York. Everyone thought that he was going to be the next big thing. That didn't exactly happen. You saw that with Beto O'Rourke from your state of Texas and others. And I think there's a chance that that could be Gavin Newsom, too, that he could be just, the it girl that just can't sell movie tickets.